Hey everyone, and welcome to After Hours. In tonight's episode, we are going to be taking a look at doing some free motion quilting on our sewing machine using the ACCUSTITCH. Now, tonight I have taken a little piece of a butterfly out of a panel. I cut it out. There were 6 blocks in the panel that I got years ago. But I cut out one of the blocks. I'm using 80/20 fusible batting, and then I've got some Oasis etchings, that same purple fabric that we used for the flamenco panel. Just use some of that left over. I decided I'm going to quilt Mom up something, a little tiny, little cute thing, just to show her how much I love her and appreciate her. And we also get to learn some techniques together on the ACCUSTITCH, so it's a win-win situation. So let's head over to the sewing machine and let's get quilting this beautiful butterfly for Mom. So over here at our machine, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my thread on here. And I've got a variegated thread in the top. I'm doing Signature Summery Fun. And then I've got a clear glide bobbin using a light gray on the bottom. One thing about Mom is she absolutely loves variegated threads, so I wanted to stick with this one. And the signature thread is a little bit thicker, so you'll be able to see the stitching on this as well, which is super duper cool. So I've got the thread pulled up. I'm going to do a couple tie-off stitches here. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to head around this left wing, kind of stitch around that, and then we're going to come in and fill this in with some fun stuff. Again, we are using fusible batting. It's already been fused together with the iron, so there's no shifting or movement in this top piece, so it's just super cool. I can come over to the machine real quick and do it with my ACCUSTITCH. So let's get going. So we're going to work around this as we go. So kind of doing stitch in the ditch around this section, adjusting our hands as needed. And stopping and starting as we need to as well. I've got the stitch length a little tighter for our stitch in the ditch here, and I can adjust my stitch length once I'm done from my control panel. So now that I've done that stitch in the ditch around the wing, I'm going to kind of lower those stitches just a hair to make them a little bit wider. And we're going to start coming out here with feathers. And I'm going to do my feather to the purple line right here. So we'll come out and come back. Out and back. And you'll keep that same process going. Again, we got variegated threads, so these wings of this butterfly are going to change. The feather is going to change as it goes. Signature variegated's got about a 4 to 5 inch color change, so it takes a while for the color to change, but you get to see some really pretty stitching when you do that. So I've got one, I'll put one little last feather right here, and that's going to do that. Now I'm going to do some ruler work in the wings. Am I? No, I'm going to save ruler work for down here. We're going to do some ribbon candy in these wings. So you can turn this any which direction that you want since you're doing it on your sewing machine, which is fun. And these are just going to be wavy lines back and forth. And if I need to adjust my hands, I just move them and keep going. Another cool fun fact about Mom is she loves patterns, and she likes repeats of patterns. So we're going to do feathers, ribbon candy, feathers, ribbon candy, feathers. So now I'm going to do feathers again right here. And a little baby one. And then I'm going to do ribbon candy. Just like that. We come up here and then we're going to finish out with feathers. So I'm going to make a little bit of a wider one here to get a nice angle on the feather. And again. And like we learned in the flamenco series, sometimes having a really long feather stem can kind of take away from the feather. So in that instance, we're going to do some little tiny ones up here. and begin to build a little bit of the wreath on that one. And then we've got a little bit of a fill in here, so I'm going to take that back and do a little tiny one right there, just to have some free motion right in there. Super duper cute. Now I want to put in a little section here. This is going to be some echoing. She loves echoing. So we're going to come around the section here and then use our foot to do our echo spacing. Because we've already done the stitch in the ditch right here, that other side is done, so now it's time to use the foot to do our echo. I'm just going to do a straight line all the way up to here, and then a straight line back, a little bit of overstitching. We're going to make our way through the points of those echoes, right back to where we started. So this adds a little bit of interest to this. It doesn't take a lot away from the actual butterfly itself, which was the goal. I didn't want to take away from the butterfly, I just wanted to add to it. And it's cool that I can quickly do this on my sewing machine. So let's move to the bottom wing. I would repeat this same step here on this other wing to the right, and then we're going to do the bottom wings. So here I'm going to kind of give us a little bit of a peacock feather look, and that's just going to be one big huge kind of teardrop, and then it's echoed in its way all the way back into itself. So we're going to make a large one here. Actually, let's do the stitch in the ditch around the wing to stay consistent. Let's do that first. Let me increase my stitches again so we can have a tighter stitch length. Once your hands get uncomfortable, just stop and move them. All the way. Do a little bit of the ditch work around the outside of the butterfly body. And now we can do that peacock feather inside here. So we're going to give us a big teardrop, and then we're just going to echo that on the inside. And one last one there, and then we'll place one over here. This is going to be all of these kind of little peacock feathers, so you can make them large, small, whatever you want. Just like that, and then let's go one over here. As I'm getting down here, they've become a little smaller just to give it a little bit of texture around, but the biggest thing about this is we are keeping it going in a downward motion. Ooh, a downward motion as we go. So I've got one really big one here. I'm going to do that same thing on the other side. Let me rotate it around so you can see it on the other side over here. But then I'm going to keep all these other ones nice and small. It's kind of mimicking also the dye that is in this fabric. Kind of has that swoop look to it. So I'll just keep working my way around those. And now we've got the texture built on this one wing. So you can build these around as you go. You could change each wing if you want to, but now I'm going to do the same thing on this other section as well, just to keep the pattern and the consistency of it. So I'll travel around the butterfly. And then before I do those other two, I want to go ahead and actually come up and show you how to do these antennas here. So we'll work our way around. And we're just going to travel up one of the antennas. You can have a little bit of a wave to it. And then once you get up to the top, you can give yourself a texture dot, which is just a bunch of overstitching. And when you have variegated thread, the color is going to look really different, which is cool. You'll travel back down. Come off to the side a little bit, and then back up the other one. Again, giving some natural wave to it. And then that texture dot, you can kind of go crazy with it however you want to. And then you travel back. You can give any other texture to the butterfly body that you want. I like the openness of it, so we're going to leave that alone. Travel back around, and then do the exact same thing over here for each wing. Last but not least, to lock down the background, one of her favorite things is micro stippling, so we're going to add in some micro stippling in the back. Da, 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 da. And here is the final product. It's so cute. It's upside down, that's the first thing, but it is so stinking cute. Let me bring it up to you. I got to work a little bit on my stippling on a sit-down sewing machine. That was one thing that I figured out, but I think it turned out really cute overall. I think she's going to like it. I think it's going to make her day. Just something to show her how much I love her and how much I appreciate my mama. So thank you so much for joining me tonight and playing around on the ACCUSTITCH with me on this beautiful little panel for mom. One tidbit of information, next Thursday, March 16th, we will be doing a live Quilting with Corey event. I'll be on the long arm starting about 5:30 p.m., so it's going to be a little early, 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, until about 8 o'clock. And I'll be quilting on a peacock panel. We'll be doing live Q&A, answering questions, asking questions. We'll doing a combined of freehand and computerized on that panel, which I think is going to be super fun. More information about that will be in the description below. If you loved this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. I absolutely love my ACCUSTITCH. For questions about the ACCUSTITCH, that can also be in the description below, or you can visit our website, longarmsupplies.net. I'll see you next time here on After Hours. Bye!